Rebels have won 71 of their last 75 at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Their number 2 in the nation is Maryland. Off to its best start in a decade, comes visiting today. Welcome to the ACC on ESPN. Bob Carpenter with Digger Phelps. And, Coach, everybody around the league's talking about Joe Smith. How do you feel about it?
Joe Smith has no fear. He just brings fear to the opposition. A great player who, since Georgetown, has shown this ACC excitement. He wants this one today. His stats show it. This is where we're going to find a balanced ball game down to the wire.
He was not the most heralded freshman brought aboard by Gary Williams, but look at the numbers, both offensively and defensively. Check out the blocks and the steals. He's getting it done all over the floor for the Terrapins. Now, they're off to their best conference start since 1984. Virginia is off this weekend. They'll play Maryland later this week. And then North Carolina and Wake get together tomorrow. So all the top dogs in the ACC are seeing each other as we head into February. Now, Coach, all the others have taken their turn at number 1 and failed. Duke's just hanging around at number 2.
You got to credit Coach K for what he's done with Grant Hill. Grant Hill just lets everybody else play their game. He steps up, the best defensive player. But against Maryland's press today, they will miss a Bobby Hurley-type point guard. On the other hand, Maryland has the point guard, Dwayne Simpkins. If he penetrates, makes the things happen on offense, this is how Maryland stays in the game, which allows offensive rebounding by Joe Smith to become a factor.
Simpkins in double figures each of his last 8 games. But it's been a long time since Maryland's beaten this Duke Blue Devil team. 19 of the last 20. Chris Fowler coming up in the studio next.
Crazy Cameron Indoor Stadium, the battle for first place in the ACC. It's a very young Maryland team, tries to cope with one of the toughest home courts in college basketball. Looking forward to seeing Joe Smith, the most productive freshman of the country. A rare chance to see him this year. Game number 2 of our afternoon doubleheader, Louisville and Virginia Commonwealth. Already the Rams have beaten the Cardinals once this year in overtime in Freedom Hall. They will go for the sweep at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. The rest of your ESPN menu today, following hoops, well, you can see it's rodeo action. Yippee-ki-yay. Then the third round of the Phoenix Open. 5 players within a stroke of the lead in Phoenix. The Super Bowl edition of SportsCenter, 60 minutes at 7 o'clock. Maryland and Duke get it on. Grant Hill, the Blue Devils' leading scorer, set to battle the Terrapins. Bob and Digger will have the action in a minute.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Dollar Rent-A-Car, right on the airport, right on the money. And by Menon Speed Stick Deodorant and Speed Stick Antiperspirant, the #1 for movers and shakers.
Well, the Dukies are getting after it here today. Their team normally does that here at home. They have been almost unbeatable over the years. Little scare from Notre Dame the other night. And they survived, and here they are back in conference play. Maryland comes to town, and we look at Exree Hipp, outstanding athlete and leaper. He's a guy that can light it up inside a little bit with some alley-oops and some exciting play. For Gary Williams, who doesn't depend totally on Joe Smith. Gary now getting things going in his 5th year at Maryland, and a .549 winning percentage. The Blue Devils on our Dollar Rent-A-Car starting lineup. And Chris Collins, one of the guys that's stepping in at guard. He's listed as a 2 guard, but they change him around a lot with Grant Hill playing some point, playing some shooting guard. Collins, a good sharpshooter who's hitting 41% in conference play from 3-point range for Mike Krzyzewski in his 14th year here, a 3-time ACC Coach of the Year, a 4-time National Coach of the Year. Duke in the home whites, trimmed in blue. Maryland in the road reds. Grant Hill had the tip momentarily, and Booth comes away with it for Maryland. For Rhodes out on top to their point man. Simpkins very important here today in the opinion of Digger Phelps. Good entry pass. Smith, and he was stuffed by Grant Hill.
Hill's their best defensive player, so that doesn't surprise me to see him from right away with a key block.
National Defensive Player of the Year last season. Then on offense, he gives it up, and Rhodes was tripped from behind. Did he trip himself? He must have. No foul call. Gary Williams beside himself. Thought he had an easy 2 here.
There's a strip. Now watch this. He gets stripped. The referees aren't in position to call it right there.
Frank Scagliotta, Duke Edsel, and Steve Gordon on the ACC crew at Cameron today. Inbounds pass to Hill. He'll kick it out to the three-point line. And there's Chris Collins.
Maryland's going to press full court. You can see what Duke wants to do. They're just going to shoot it and get on the glass when they get it down.
Collins elevating his shooting once conference play starts. That's something in this league. X3 hip. His three rims out. And Cherokee Parks, who pulls down 9 a game, has the Duke rebound. Capel inside for Lang. Nice turn.
A lot more intensity tonight than there was against Notre Dame Wednesday night.
Well, Coach, you know how dangerous those non-conference games can be, because whenever you came to somebody's arena, you were their non-conference game.
They're not ready for you. You are.
Maryland down by 5 early. Around the perimeter, Rhodes against Lang. A little help there from Collins. Then a baseline drive, and a left-hander thrown up there beautifully by Dwayne Simpkins.
Here's your press, full court. They're going to trap the first pass inbounds.
Hill, nice lead for Lang, 2-on-1. He'll go it alone. Offensive foul.
Great defensive play. It's what Maryland wants. They want to force you to play their game. They want you to play the full court game. Good position, goes in strong, steps in. And that's another dimension of Joe Smith.
So Maryland with a chance to get right back even here. Down to the left baseline, and Lang will foul Booth. And that looks like number 2 on Antonio.
Number 21, Antonio Lang.
Well, Duke's been a good road team. Those are ranked teams they've taken care of, but oddly enough, that Wake Forest loss was right here at Cameron. Nice switch. And it's up and in from Keith Booth. Duke a little bit sleepy on the back door that time. Blue Devils by a point. There's a case for a tear-away jersey.
Well, you don't want to foul when you're pressing full court. That adds to what you're going to see in a bonus situation before halftime, and you don't want to get quick foul trouble.
Keith Booth grabbing the shirt of Antonio Lang. He'll take a breather. And the hero of the Notre Dame win the other night, Marty Clark, checks in. It was his tip-in at the buzzer against some of his old buddies from the Chicago area that won the ball game for Duke. Capel down to Parks. He sealed off Smith very well.
That could be a problem. What Duke is running is their 4 out, Parks inside, and if you ISO on Smith, Smith is prone to foul trouble.
Blue Devils by 3, 2 minutes and 20 seconds in. They're off to a quick start offensively. They've been doing that a lot lately. Smith kicks it, rejected by Parks, and he'll pick up the loose ball. Grant Hill for Capel, the freshman. Misfiring on the 3. Simpkins for Rhodes. Hip works off the pick. He'll penetrate with the dribble. Cherokee Parks has another rebound. That's at least his 3rd. Marty Clark unchecked underneath. And they started guarding him. That left Cherokee Parks open for the follow slam.
He's over both boards. Parks getting the defensive rebounds, the blocks, and a great offensive tip-in.
9-4 Duke, 3:15 in. Parks comes out to help. That leaves Smith on the baseline. Grant Hill cuts him off. The ball stays with Maryland. But, Coach, that helping defense of Duke is really something to watch.
Why Wake Forest won? Their guards penetrated. The guards controlled the game. Simpkins has got to do that. He's got to have the ball.
Smith double-teamed on the inbounds. Simpkins kicks it right into the seats. Was the ball tipped? Frank Scagliotta says it was by Grant Hill. Grant says, I never touched it.
Maryland looks a little intimidated right now. Not into the flow of the game, and Simpkins is the one person that controls the game. He must have the ball.
On the left wing for Rhodes. Capel watching him. Help from Grant Hill. He hung beautifully, and Johnny Rhodes has his first basket. Coming off an 11.6 rebound, 4 assist game against Clemson. Here's a 3-on-2. Parks can hit from out there. Marty Clark has the rebound of the 3. Grant Hill for a couple.
Even though Parks missed the shot, Duke's going to shoot the ball in transition against the press so they can go to the glass and get the scores they just got.
Blue Devils by 5. Stroke with the left hand, the 3 from Johnny Rhodes, and that's 5 for him. 2 straight times down the floor. Duke having a little trouble with that Maryland full court pressure so far. Marty Clark will kick it out to Collins. Squared up nicely. That was a long one. Way out there, and that's 6 for the sophomore out of Northbrook, Illinois. At the other end, Simpkins transition and draws the blocking foul on Grant Hill.
When he penetrates like that, what it allows is weak side offensive rebounding because Duke must help to the ball. Marty Clark looks to penetrate and kicks it back to Chris Collins. That's an NBA 3. Something his father never could do.
2 shots.
That was Digger saying that, Doug. There's Dwayne Simpkins leading the Terrapins at 73% from the line, 3 points on the day.
Maryland will back that press up, take away that long pass, and still stay in the pressing game as an adjustment.
Whistle. Looks like
lane violation.
They might even be talking about a foul in there. Scagliato will bring both coaches to the scores table. Evidently some sort of a lane violation against Duke. There's Parks and his partner putting their hands on each other a bit and shuffling
Parks
the
stepped
feet.
in. You saw his foot going, his left foot.
So another chance for a shot for Dwayne Simpkins.
I would decline the penalty.
Now it's in, and at the first timeout, 4 minutes and 42 seconds in, Duke has an early 3-point lead. Like Duke, Maryland's been good on the road. That Georgetown game was really the coming out party for Joe Smith back in December on ESPN. He had 26 points and 9 rebounds against Othello Harrington. Held him to 7 field goals attempted, but today, not much. He is scoreless, no rebounds. Cherokee Parks has 4 points and 4 boards. Bob Carpenter, Digger Phelps. Second segment of the first half as we pass that first timeout. Duke has come out firing early, but leads by only 3. Collins with a couple of threes. He'll switch it for Capel, and he's 0 for 2. Running with it, Exree Hip, who loves the transition game. So does Simpkins. Cherokee Parks read it well. Joe Smith alert enough to keep the ball. Grant Hill cutting off Hip from the baseline. Parks on the back of Smith. The turnaround, it was tipped. That's the second shot he's had blocked today.
It's interesting to see Grant Hill guarding Hip versus Rhodes. Rhodes has been shooting very well in the last 2 games, as we're seeing today. Yet that's the challenge that Coach K wants. Pretty good move, good block. Parks is all over the wall. Parks knows this is a challenge to shut down Joe Smith.
Smith has not been intimidated so far by the big men in the ACC. He did well against Montrose and North Carolina, had 25 points and 10 rebounds in a loss at home a couple of weeks ago. Clark, nice drive and a nice little touch.
Duke's attacking the press and looking for the rebound if they miss. Well prepared. Maryland's best defense is their full court traps.
Blue Devils by 5, just over 5.5 minutes in. Booth, nice entry pass for Smith. Well short on it. Cherokee Parks picked it up. Collins has a 3-on-2 with Clark. Marty will take a big step, and Smith stuffs him. Simpkins for Hip. He'll use the glass.
Give the assist to Joe Smith. He blocks a shot, gets the rebound, and starts the fast break with the outlet pass.
Blue Devils by 3. Capel, nice job to catch it. Straight ahead Collins, another 3. Off to the left with that one, and Smith has another board. He's suddenly showing some life. Collins forces the steal. Capel and Clark 2-on-2, and the ball tipped away by Smith. Here comes Simpkins. Terrapins have numbers. 4-on-3. And they'll go with the secondary break to the trailer Rhodes. Rebound Grant Hill. Well, a nice little breathtaking scoreless flurry there. Looks like both teams getting their second wind here a little bit.
It's very hot down on the floor. This place is as hot as any court in the country, and in the players, you need to sub a lot.
Grant Hill works off a Parks pick. Kind of a weird-looking pick and roll there, and then Exree Hip had it go off his shoulder. Nice pass. Rhodes down the paint. That's a blocking foul on Collins. Big one coming up soon on ESPN2. Number 2 Duke against number 4 North Carolina. Eric Montross and company taking on Mike Krzyzewski's Blue Devils. That's Thursday at 9, 6 Pacific. And if you don't have ESPN2, call your local cable operator and ask for ESPN2 to be placed on your system. That's coming up this week. Duke and Carolina. It never gets any easier in this league, does it?
And that means Chris Crawler can just watch that game anywhere he wants, especially in Bristol.
Chris in the studio today, and he'll have our Delta Faucet halftime report, highlights from all around on these early games this Saturday, the final Saturday of January.
You got to give Maryland credit. You know, they're a little intimidated to start the game. They've settled down, and look at this. They're right back in the hunt. 3 down, foul shooting. You got to make them when they give them to you here.
That one, not much chance. Johnny Rhodes only 57% since the start of conference play. He has 6. Maryland down by 2. 7 minutes into the game. Marty Clark. Antonio Lang back in there. Got it back from Collins. Kick out to Hill. The 3 well long. Clark with a big rebound. Fouled underneath.
Big aggressive offensive. Marty Clark, nobody boxed him out. He just went in and got the ball. He plays very aggressive, knows the game. Here's your shot. Watch Clark in position. Goes up strong, grabs it. One good bounce pass, gets his balance, draws the foul. Marty Clark.
Mario Lucas on the foul. Only the second Maryland team foul. Clark's outstanding at the line, 84%. This is a man Digger Phelps recruited. Could not quite get to come to South Bend.
I really think Notre Dame belongs in the Big East. We didn't get him. He went to the ACC, and I look at Notre Dame and DePaul. They got to jump into the Big East soon.
Clark has 4. Already averaging 10 in conference play. That puts Duke back up by 4. With him for the moment after a slow start. Tough catch for Smith. Marty Clark has the loose ball. Grant Hill down to Collins. This kid's not shy, is he? Meek with the rebound. He's in there to spell Parks for a breather. Nice entry pass. Hill to Meek. Yes, and a foul.
When you go at Smith inside, he gets in foul trouble, and that was a great pass. Looking in, Meek gets the move. Good reversal play. Duke very patient on offense. See the isolation inside. 3-point play. Notice how Duke is starting to sub because of the heat on the floor. Maryland, this is going to be a factor the last 10 minutes of this game. Subbing on a hot court is very important.
3-point play for Eric Meek, who averages 3 a game. That's a bonus for Duke. They lead by 7 because Meek, Greg Newton, and Cherokee Parks, all big men, they feel they have 15 fouls to give against Joe Smith today.
Little zone defense by Duke.
Booth, nice work with the left-hander.
Basket by
That's 4 for the freshman out of Dunbar in Baltimore. He was the Maryland Player of the Year and actually more touted coming out of high school than was Joe Smith.
Joe Smith is the surprise of the country as the freshman of the year.
Mark Price is the last freshman to lead the ACC in scoring. Antonio Lang down the lane. It appears to be on Matt Kovarik, who checked it a moment ago.
Maryland's number 11, Matt Kovarik. His first, fourth.
Joe Smith, no points yet.
Look at him sweat.
Number 21.
2 rebounds.
And that's a factor. Dehydration on this floor. You need a lot of liquids.
Coaches will tell you there's nothing like those ACC road games in your freshman year to teach you what this league's all about. 3 for Antonio. One of the real leaders of this team now, part of that class of '94. Well short with it. Rebound picked up by Dwayne Simpkins. And tipped by Marty Clark. Devils have 4 on 3. Can Grant Hill save it? No.
Official timeout.
And while he gets away from the season ticket holders, we'll take a timeout. 8.5 minutes in, Duke by 6. January 16th, 1988, a night still remembered by Maryland fans. Bob Wade's Terrapins, first to the ball against Duke all night long. With 1:30 remaining, Keith Gatlin got the kick out and hit the 3 for a tie at 69. Moments later, the ball again rebounded by Maryland, and Derek Lewis finished Duke with the dunk for the only Terps victory in the last 20 meetings in this series. Seems like a long time ago. Well, it was for Joe Smith. He was not even a teenager yet. Ronald Reagan was the president, so it's been quite a drought for the Terrapins in this series. Of course, Joe was probably about 6'6" by then. He's got it baseline left. They have to kick it back out as Meek and Grant Hill collapse down on him. Kovarik stopped by Lang, and then a foul. Antonio was knocking the ball down the court for Grant Hill. Looked like Kovarik fouled to try to stop the fast break.
Duke plays really aggressive on the passing lanes. They really come around well. Look at the double team here, kicking it back out. Watch a reversal, and here's your deflection. Off the shot, tip. They find each other. Very well balanced defensive attack by Duke.
Duke working the ball around a little bit more now. Marty Clark looking for Meek down low. They thought they shot too quickly in the game against Wake here. They were getting into a pattern of 2 passes and a shot. Now they're working a little more, and they like the way it's resulted in good shooting the last 2 games. That one off the hands of Eric Meek, and Maryland will have it back. Rhodes will check back in for the Terrapins. Cherokee Parks returns for Duke. And Jeff Capel is back as the Duke point guard as well.
Speaking of 12 years old, Capel's got a brother that's an 8th grader starting right now in high school who's 6'6" and a player.
Simpkins trying to drive on Capel. Way short with the left-hander. Cherokee Parks the rebound. Hill switches for Parks. He's got range out there. Not as much as some of the previous Duke big men, though. Capel penetrates, double pumps, and he got the shooter's roll.
Maryland needs a basket.
Duke's largest lead by 8. 10 seconds from the halfway point. Parks ties up Smith. The possession arrow belongs to Duke.
That's the inexperience of showing the ball. Parks just read it, put his hand, wrapped it around. Another good defensive play by Cherokee Parks.
Hill for Clark against the full court. Capel again, no problem. There's Parks from inside the arc. You know, they like those rims down there at that end. Maybe that's why they've been shooting so well in the first half lately. Maryland calls a timeout. 9:54 first half, and Duke has moved it out to 10.
Cherokee Parks is not going to let Joe Smith, the freshman, come in and embarrass him. He's playing both the jumper. Is that Danny Ferry? Is that Christian Leitner? No. Cherokee Parks for a big 2. Does he know it? He loves it.
And the Blue Devils continue their good shooting that they've had in the first half lately. Parks dominating Smith at the moment with 6 more points, 4 more rebounds, and an extra block. But Duke 10 of 18 from the floor, 56%. Their last 2 games, they've shot 77% against NC State, 68% against FSU, Florida State, for a combined 72%. Quick move, Booth and Rhodes. You got to hit those shots. Out of bounds. Maryland has it.
That's why Gary called a timeout to run a set play, and it was a layup. You got to make it right.
Everything worked except the ball getting through the hoop. And Coach talked about the perspiration out there, the humidity in the building, and the heat. And the ball boys will be busy from here on.
Booth came out very, very early to just come out. He was sweating. It's like going to a horse race. You know, that horse that sweats not going to run well when it comes at the end.
X-ray hit. Good help by Grant Hill. Loose ball picked up by Booth, trying to muscle his way. Offensive foul.
He had position, principle, verticality. Referees are calling that this year. You can't lunge in.
For Maryland, Keith Booth, second.
First of 2 on ESPN today. We'll send you to the Metro after this one is over. The 12th-ranked Louisville Cardinals go to Richmond and visit the Rams. Kendrick Warren is the big man for Sonny Smith. He leads the Metro in rebounds and blocks at 19 points a game as well. And, of course, today he has to deal with Clifford Rozier.
But VCU upset Louisville.
Had Freedom Hall earlier. And there's a 3 from Jeff Capel. Capel very capable from that range. And Duke leads by 13.
Maryland's in a drought.
X-ray hip. Nice touch. That'll be 4 for him.
Wouldn't be surprised if that's it. They're backing up the press now versus on the ball because Duke was throwing over it.
Duke by 11. Parks thinks about it. A little short. Tough rebound, Antonio Lang. Offensive boards is his forte. He had 70 of those last year. Then he turns around and almost gets the steal.
Simpkins has got to go back and get the ball from Joe Smith. Duke's very good at laying back and looking for that type of steal. Good defensive rebound. Watch Joe Smith. He just gets position, goes up strong, grabs it, looks for the outlet.
There's Smith posting up, gets by Parks, scores, and draws a foul on Grant Hill.
That's his game. He loves to go to the hole. He's not afraid. He just needs to get in the flow of this game. Big basket. Maryland coming back now.
His second, 5th on the team.
Duke does a good job of stepping in, but he gets by Parks and goes up strong. Gets it off.
Shooting
3-point play.
will be number 32, Joe Smith.
Once you get that first basket, you loosen up your game. Even tuck in your pants, get ready, you know, shoot the foul shot. I'm here. I'm Joe Smith.
On the board with a 3-point play the conventional way, and that gets it back to 8.
Maryland's still pressing, but see, they backed it up just to contain Duke.
Marty Clark after quick transition. Ball might have bounced Lang right in the face, and it comes out loosely for Dwayne Simpkins of the Terrapins. They'll run with a 4-on-3. Simpkins leaves it. Here comes Booth. He missed the dunk, and it still went in.
You got to give Gary Williams credit for that timeout. You know, they're ready to get blown out here. They've cut it back to 6 with 8 to go in this half.
And good D on the near side by Johnny Rhodes. ACC action here. Temple looking good in the A-10 today. Big lead over GW early. Tulsa's been the best team in the Missouri Valley lately, but Drake's given them a problem up in Des Moines.
Still love Temple for March.
With that matchup zone.
You got it.
You coaches love that defense. Simpkins to Booth. Nice penetration. Left side, X-ray hip. Threw up an air ball. It might have been tipped. Joe Smith got his own. Cherokee Park stuffs him but fouls him. And he can't believe it.
Got him with a body. But look at Joe Smith. I mean, that he just has that determination to keep going and keep going. Maryland, look at trying to kick it off, but watch Joe Smith come in. Gets it once, goes up, not strong, lost it, grabbed it again. Parks with the body. Yes, he blocked, but his body got him first.
Normally a pretty good free throw shooter. Cherokee Parks still talking to the official about his first foul. Smith 70% conference play, 72 overall. And that's his 4th point of the day. Getting down close to 7.5 minutes before halftime. Duke by 5. Parks on top to Capel. Simpkins on him. Dwayne's been playing great defense lately. That one was tipped by Rhodes and a shot by Grant Hill. Boy, we've had some block shots like crazy here today. Not in-your-face type things, but a lot of tips. Simpkins with Collins watching him. They'll refire the attack with 15 on the shot clock. And that's the first time we've mentioned that apparatus today.
I forgot they had a shot.
Yeah, they do. Shot clock down to 5. Rhodes for Booth. Tried to shovel for Smith. Grant Hill took it away. And then he was grabbed by Keith Booth. That's trouble, Digger. That's 3 on Booth.
That's right. And you can also overpass. And that's what Maryland's doing. They want to penetrate and kick it. But when you're in that close, you got to take it to the hole. That's where Booth got in trouble.
Duke goes into the bonus. Booth goes to the bench with 3. Lucas is back.
Lucas returns for the Terrapins.
And Duke is one club that has been better than the norm at free throw shooting. As a club, they're just over 70% in conference play. They shoot a lot of them.
Very unselfish player, Grant Hill. He just has allowed Collins, Clark, Capel to get involved with their offensive game, and he's the reason why the leadership of Grant Hill, he may not score, or Parks will get 20. All he wants to do is win. He knows that he is the leader.
Duke has made more free throws than its opponents have attempted. A 260-249 differential coming in. They're back up by 7 now with 6:40 to go first half. X-ray hip, strong on the dribble, too strong on the shot, and an offensive foul. That'll be his first.
When you drive on Duke, you can't leave too soon because Duke is very good stepping in for the charge. Lang, solid defensive play.
Aren't they all? You know, a lot of people talked about Bobby Hurley's point guard play. His fanatical chasing defense at the point was a big factor for this club for a couple of years as well. Cherokee Parks, they got the mismatch down low, and the junior out of Huntington Beach has 8. Maryland had been on an 8-2 run since the last time out. Air ball from Rhodes. Lang for Hill. Angles it for Collins. He'll penetrate, looking for Parks. Collins for 3. They really looked worried on that fast break, didn't they?
They want to take it to score. Collins did the right thing, gave it to Parks, went to the line. Parks kicked it back for the assist. 3-point shot for Collins.
Have you ever seen a calmer fast break than the one put on by the Blue Devils right there? Duke by 12. Just over 5.5 to go. Grant Hill overplaying Rhodes a little bit, and that will be Grant's 3rd. He's had foul trouble at various times this year, fulfilling all those different roles that Mike Krzyzewski has asked of him.
Well, this is where, at this key, 5:34 left in the half, Maryland has to make their move. You know, they're down 12. They get it back to 7 before halftime with Grant Hill on the bench. Right now is spurt time for Maryland. Close the gap.
1-1.
Johnny Rhodes to the line. Seven for him. He's the busiest Terrapin out there at 34 minutes a game. Be tough to play that amount in this sauna today. Johnny has 8. Maryland gets it back to 10. Collins up top for Lang. Everybody working off the ball with that motion offense. Shot clock to 10. Capel kicks it for Collins. Capel will penetrate with 6 on the clock. Well short. Rebound hip. He'll outlet to Simpkins. Will he take on 2 Blue Devils? He will, but he'll miss. And Cherokee Parks has an easy rebound. His 7th of the game already. Wow. Down low. And they held Antonio Lang as he headed for the hoop. It'll be number 2 on Mario Lucas.
Maryland's number 21, Mario Lucas, his 2nd personal foul tonight on the team.
Maryland a little tired on defense right now. Looking for that inside. See, it was almost a push off the other way. When you fight back, you get in foul trouble.
That
bothers coaches.
That power forward spot of Maryland has 5 fouls now. Mario Lucas with his, Antonio Lang with his 4th point of the day after Lucas got his 2nd foul. Keith Booth at that 4 spot is already on the bench with 3. And Antonio, the senior, part of that class of '94 with Grant Hill and Marty Clark stepping forward as the veterans have to do. That class has had some kind of success. They've only won 85% of their games. Duke back up by a dozen. Underneath, good look, Simpkins to Rhodes.
That's what he does well. He can find you if you move to get open.
Maryland unable to come up with any steals on that full court press until right there with the throwaway. Really the first time they forced Duke into a turnover mistake today.
It's a contained press and staying with it. This is why Gary Williams likes to do this to Duke. Sooner or later, they're going to crack you. This may be the spurt they're looking for before halftime.
Don't forget Grant Hill went out with 5:34 to go. We're down at the 4:05 mark now. And that's a big shot. Mario Lucas, who doesn't score a lot with his first basket. They were down by 12. The turnover helps them get it back to 8. Marty Clark for Capel. They'll switch it for Collins. Capel will penetrate. Left-hander. Cherokee Parks. Well,
he's got a nose for the ball.
That'll happen. You fight hard to clear those people out. The ball takes a bounce to the other side, and Parks open for an easy 2.
His agility's really improved this year. He's really active around the glass, both offensively and defensively.
No goal for Mario Lucas. Capel, the guard who averages a couple of boards a game, pulling that one down. Marty Clark travel. 3:13 to go in the first half. Grant Hill is on the bench with 3 fouls. So's Maryland's Keith Booth. And the Blue Devils lead it by 10.
Low scoring, just like John Chaney likes it. For the Colonials, Omo Moses misses the deep one. There's a wild scramble. Don't make that pass. He made the pass, and Eddie Jones is there for the steal and the dunk. 2 of his 12. And Digger, love that Owl defense. They're up by 6 late first half.
Well, they can strangle you, Chris Fowler, much the way the Duke helping defense can do here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. But they do it with man-to-man, not the matchup zone of John Chaney. A lot of folks think that defense will carry the Owls into the latter stages of the NCAA tournament.
Last 6 years, they've been to 3 Final Eights. They're overdue to get to the Final 4. Then they're all back at Temple.
Maryland with possession. 3 minutes to go. Marty Clark gambling for the steal. Rhodes, right side for Lucas, passing on the shot. Rhodes got it back, works hard in the baseline. And I'm not sure who scored it. I guess they'll give it to Lucas. I thought it was a white shirt. I thought that ball was knocked in by Cherokee Parks.
I agree with you.
Basket credited to number 15, Johnny Rhodes.
They're going to give it to Johnny Rhodes.
Maryland went to a full court man-to-man press then, and Duke was still running their zone press offense.
some penetration. On top for Clark. Shot clock down to 6. Second time Duke's taken it down that far. Capel for Collins, way out there. Just did hit iron as the clock went to 1. Simpkins kicks it for Rhodes. Good defensive little sequence there for the Terrapins. And Joe Smith with the nice touch at the other end. He has 6.
Drew Parks off. Smith was open. They've got it down to 6. Duke without Grant Hill.
On the bench with 3 fouls. Capel! He looked one way and passed the other. And Parks with the easy jam.
Freshman against freshman.
Great assist by the coach's son. His dad, Jeff, is the head coach at North Carolina A&T. Lucas, baseline left, and he rattles it home for his second field goal.
Simpkins got to do more of that. That's where he's at his best, kicking it to the open shooter.
Collins for Capel. Cherokee Parks can't reach it. Johnny Rhodes on the tip away. And now a chance to get it back to 4, maybe 3, as the clock hits 1 minute first half.
Gary wants a set play. Use the shot clock, be smart, don't force a bad shot, and get on the glass.
Simpkins driving, scooping. Rhodes picks up the garbage. And he has 14 here in the first half. Maryland getting that run that Digger said they were looking for before halftime. Shot clock is at 20, so a 10-second differential. Capel switching it for Collins. Clark inside Parks. Turnaround. Won't go after a tip by Smith. Dwayne Simpkins. Chris Fowler is standing by with our Delta Faucet halftime report. Under 10 seconds to go. Maryland with a chance to get back very close now. Simpkins around everybody. Is he out of room? Hip picks it up, and he could not shoot in time. Chris Fowler is standing by. Our Delta Faucet halftime report coming up. You'll update you on the Temple Owls. We'll get ready for the Super Bowl. Of course, we've got a whole battery of ESPN announcers down there and a preview of the upcoming weekend. It's Duke by 4, and Chris Fowler with Booth on the bench with 3 fouls, and Smith scoreless a while. They're hanging right in.
Yeah, certainly an impressive first half for that very young Maryland team. They kept their poise in a very tough building to do so. They trailed by only 4. Well, Bob gave you the rundown of our Delta Faucet halftime report. We will check in on that Temple GW game, look ahead at a very busy weekend, and get a report from Atlanta as the Super Bowl kickoff countdown continues. Stay with us.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Kelly Springfield, America's oldest tire company, and by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me.
Rarely does an individual matchup make headlines like the first meeting of Virginia's incumbent supercenter Ralph Sampson and the new kid on the low block, Patrick Ewing of Georgetown. The clash of the Titans lived up to its hype. In a seesaw battle, Sampson prevailed 68-63, despite Ewing's aggressive play in the paint. Ralph's 23 points, 16 rebounds, and 7 block shots was a college basketball magic moment.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the people of Nike, who encourage you to just do it. And by the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
Welcome back to Cameron Indoor Stadium. Durham, North Carolina, and Maryland with a late run gets it back to 4 at the half, and Digger Phelps some of the key plays from that first 20 minutes.
Obviously, Cherokee's having a great first half, 12 points, 3 blocks. Watch it come over from the weak side, great block. Now on the other end of the floor, he's not afraid to go to the hole. Reads, good seal, inside pass, and with authority goes through the rim. What brought Maryland back? Basically, Wayne Simpkins. Watch his penetration, draws the defense to the paint, kicks it to Mario Lucas, who's open right now. If he does more of this the second half, especially with Grant Hill in foul trouble, this is why Maryland's come back twice from being down double figures.
down by as many as 12 a couple of times, and they've got the second half possession, down by just 4. X-ray hip with the turnaround. Off the iron, and the rebound. Cherokee Parks is 8th of the afternoon. He's headed for a double-double quickly, and that feed from Capel off the hands of Antonio Lang. Team shot identically, 15 for 30 in the first half, but Duke had more from three-point range, a couple of those from Jeff Capel and Chris Collins, their young guards. Parks dominating the rebounding at the moment. There's Booth kicking it, left side Simpkins. And keep in mind, Keith Booth of Maryland's playing with 3 fouls. Strong offensive rebound, though. Nowhere to go. Lang stood straight up and stopped him. Booth had to be a little careful. He didn't want to go barreling into somebody and get that 4th foul in a hurry. Grant Hill inside the Parks. Nice with the turnaround.
He's just thinking of Joe Smith. He knows he's got to beat a player that's going to be the force inside and both ends of the floor today. Cherokee Parks rebounding, blocking shots, and point production.
And he's now 7 of 10 from the floor.
70% is not too bad.
Well, he came in 61. He's always been a good shooter. Rhodes for hip. Smith posting up. So they switch it down to the baseline left. Rhodes got in their back door. Antonio Lang stopped him. Maryland will keep it. Not a typical first half for a guy averaging 21 points, 11 rebounds a game.
Stoops got on his case. He was scoreless the first 10 minutes, and all that point production came the last 10 minutes.
Capel takes it right away from Keith Booth. He'll kick it for Collins. Well off with the 3, and last touch by Joe Smith. Delightful young man. We had a chance to visit with him on ESPN back in December in Oklahoma City. He's got a good handle on what his role is with this team right now. Another guy who's an outstanding role player, Antonio Lang, scoring there, and that's 7 for him. Duke by 8. Hip for Smith. Short with it. Simpkins appeared to have it. And Antonio Lang comes up with a loose ball. Collins to Hill. Grant Hill kicks for Parks. Cherokee was heading for the hoop, but he lost it. Last tip by a Maryland player.
Number 21 for the Terrapins, Mario Lucas.
Joe Smith inside here. In the paint, takes the charge, but not afraid to step up and step in, and that how you play that off defense. Of course, he's out now. Needs a blow. Gary's going to settle him down, tell him to get more involved in the game. Talking to him. Need him to be more active.
All right.
Both ends of the floor.
So, Digger, how does he tell him to do that? What does Joe have to do that he hasn't done so far?
That's why he's coming right back in. Just settle down and play. Be yourself. He hasn't done it today.
Capel feeding to Lang, and a Maryland foul on the play. It looks like number 1 on Dwayne Simpkins.
His first on the team. Number 32, Joe Smith, replaces number 21.
Lucas will check out as Smith comes back in.
All you do is remind him of the stats, his offensive production, his defensive production, block shots, get involved with the game.
Grant Hill, nice feed for Parks.
Great pass. Now Duke's got that intensity. But when Grant Hill's in the game, he brings the intensity to the floor.
Blue Devils are 3 of 4 out of the locker room. Maryland yet to hit a shot. Terrapins are 0 for 6. Rhodes for Smith. He'll dribble and penetrate. Blocked by Antonio Lang. And a foul in the backcourt. And is that on Keith Booth? That would be his 4th.
Number 22, Keith Booth, his 4th.
And so he'll have to leave with 17:06 remaining.
What Joe Smith needs to do is he's showing the ball with the move. If he comes in off that dribble and just jumps, stops, and gives a little ball fake, you won't get the blocks that Maryland has been having difficulty with.
Look at GW. They've come back early in the second half to take a lead, and Tulsa has taken control over Drake. We'll keep an eye on that Temple game for you. Owls ranked number 10 at 11-2 coming in. Chris Collins. Well, it's an All-American final over in the Australian Open in Melbourne. The men's final comes your way live tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Pacific. Pete Sampras, the number 1 seed. Todd Martin got through at number 9, and you remember Sampras earlier in that championship beat Jim Courier, the defending champion. Shapes up as a good final tonight on ESPN.
He's a little frustrated, Joe Smith, but you got to credit Cherokee Parks. Here comes a double team, and you got to kick it out sooner when you get trapped. But Parks just comes right from behind and takes the ball.
Maryland call it a timeout, down by 10 again. So it's Duke with the early second half run.
Oh, hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Bob. How's it going, man?
How's it going, man?
Great. Game's almost on. Got any Bud Light? Sorry, I'm fresh out.
Fresh out. Fresh out.
I'm out of here.
Hide the Bud Light. Joe's coming over. Hide the Bud Light.
Big mouth.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Come on, where'd you hide the Bud Light?
It's in the garage. In the garage.
Here's a camera tip. In order to get a nice, steady picture, one that doesn't jiggle or bounce around, remember, it's important your camera be mounted on a solid object specially designed to minimize vibration. Dodge Intrepid, running at, let's say, 85 miles an hour, would be a particularly good choice. Dodge Intrepid. This changes everything.
Hi, it's Chris Elliott.
Hello.
Are you aware of all the wonderful things that cable has to offer you folks?
Uh-huh.
The entertainment programs, the children's programs, sports, cooking shows, the whole spectrum of entertainment.
That's nice.
Do you know how it could change your life? You're going to be able to order any kind of movie, shop at home, take a class in your living room. It's going to be a whole new world.
Really?
It's going to be a lot to watch.
Well, what do you know?
So wonderful, and I wanted to share that with you.
That's great news. Thanks a lot for calling.
You got to credit Duke's defense, especially with Cherokee Parks, who does the intimidation. Right now, trap him, don't let him get loose, tie him up, but yeah, I got this freshman, he's mine today. Cherokee Parks with 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals. Don't call me Ferry, don't call me Leitner, just call me Cherokee.
Well, they call him Chief.
Big Chief.
That's what the Blue Devils call him. And they thought they might have to use 2 or 3 big men against Joe Smith today, but it looks like Parks might be enough. All by himself. Blue Devils with a 10-point lead. We're 3.5 minutes in to the second half. Gary Williams was 37 seconds away from that timeout zone when he would have gotten the TV timeout, but he couldn't afford to wait, he thought. So he took his second of the game. Rhodes picking up that loose ball off the missed shot. He swings it to Simpkins. X-ray hip for 3, well short. Terrapins haven't been able to hit much from outside today.
You get those negative spurts where you go down double figures. The question is, can I come back the 3rd time against Duke?
Cherokee Parks the miss. Capel the one-hander to follow. Over the baseline, and Duke will keep it.
Energy factors coming into play now. Maryland looks a little sluggish, and that's the heat factor inside of Cameron. It just wears you down. You get dehydrated.
Maryland obviously stone cold out of the locker room. 0 for 8. Duke had hit 3 of its first 4, so they've missed 4 straight. Grant Hill. Won't see him miss that open shot too often. Maryland trying to push it. It's into the hands of Parks. 3-on-2. Collins all the way.
Look at Maryland walking down the floor. How tired they look.
Yeah, and the Duke players are reaching down and beating on the floor, and their crowd goes crazy.
They know it's defense at its best with Coach K.
Right side, Smith can't hit. Mario Lucas, tough rebound. Smith has it in traffic.
Oh, yes. Oh,
and
yes.
a foul.
Oh, yes. For 3.
Foul is on base number 20, Chris Collins. His 3rd personal foul. 2nd on the
Big steal coming up right here. Watch the transition by Collins. Parks gets it. Looks to see where Simpkins is going to be. Decides to take it himself. Goes to the basket.
Replacing Cherokee Parks, number 3.
Cherokee Parks will get a breather and checking back in the 6'10 junior Eric Meek. Meek's a guy who was in that terrible auto accident back in '91, hit by a drunk driver. Close to 100% healthy now, they say, both mentally and physically, and they say that he's just about getting back to where they want him to be. Look at that scoop by Simpkins. Can't score, but that penetration draws the foul.
Penetration is so important for him to just keep going, draw the defense, and then kick it or go to the hole, which he did right there.
His 1st personal foul, 3rd on the game.
Real aggressive play by Simpson. Knows he can beat Clark. Watch him split the seam, come in, almost gets the 3-point play.
2 shots.
Wayne Simpkins
has been quiet. Had 18 points the other night against Clemson.
And he's done that 4 times this year. He added 4 assists against the Tigers. 5 for him today. Big Ten action now underway with Minnesota and Purdue. That's a good ball game, good matchup. Eagles of Southern Miss off to a quick start.
Simpkins has got to take the game over, start shooting it, getting more points, become a factor to loosen up the rest of the Maryland offense.
50-42 Duke. Long way to go in this one. In the sauna they call Cameron Indoor Stadium. A lot of rain in the area the last day or two. It's very muggy, very humid around here.
Send the heat up to Bristol this weekend.
They like it right here, right inside these walls. Capel for Clark. Grant Hill. Shot clock under 10. Out to Capel. Nobody wants to shoot the 3. Hill for 2. And he couldn't quite touch it off the glass. Mario Lucas strong with the rebound. X-ray hip. And the rebound, Eric Meek. Straight ahead. Hill to Lang. They're tired.
They are tired. You saw it right there.
There was nobody about to get back on that one.
And looking down the floor for an easy 2. Here comes the defense.
And Gary Williams, with 13:45 to go, only has another timeout to use.
They're not deep, Maryland. They can't sub like Duke is, and you can tell right now they're really out of gas.
And he's still at least 1 minute and 40 seconds or so away from getting a television timeout. Collins is back. Antonio Lang returns to the bench for Duke, and there's Matt Kovarik. Good ball handler against the pressure. That's one of the reasons he's in there. He has very few turnovers. Grant Hill for Meek. And Smith there to take it away. Matt Kovarik, by the way, a Greensboro kid out of Grimsley High School. Nice touch. Mario Lucas with a half dozen.
They needed that.
He's coming off a career high 16 against NC State last Saturday. Clark for Collins. Won't rattle in for him. And Lucas, his 2nd rebound lately, 4 on the game. He's a good role player today. Right side Rose. Rebound Meek.
This tempo, right? This pace favors Duke.
Under 13 minutes to go now. Hill takes it to the glass. That's only 6.
Watch the zone.
But he shows up whenever it's most needed.
Duke goes to the zone just to control the game pace with the big 10-point lead. Simpkins for Kovarik. Driving between Collins
Collins and Capel. Simpkins for three, right side, and that might be a three-shot foul. Capel went out to get him, and his veteran teammates gather around to say, don't do it.
That's a freshman mistake, obviously, at the three-point line. When you look at the three-point line, don't lunge. And he's trying to box out after the shot. Now, Simpkins is not going to get the offensive rebound as a point guard, and that's just knowing the personnel on the floor.
Well, since the three-pointer came in, rebounds come out high. They don't usually come out that high.
No, and point guards don't get that many offensive rebounds.
Number 21 for the Devils.
With their legs tired and their lungs burning, that's Lang back in for Capel. Maryland has to make its free throws whenever given the opportunity. He's got two more.
Ooh, that's tough.
Terps now 10 of 14.
Well, look at him sweat. And look at Collins. Looks fresh. You know, I'm fine. This is where we play.
And of course, then there's the Duke crazies behind the goal. That doesn't help. He missed all three.
And you don't think the students will get on him here the next time he goes to the line? And he's dejected. He knows. Big three could have cut it to 7.
Duke spreading the floor now. Cherokee Park's getting a breather. Meek setting a pick out high. We got Marty Clark out there. Grant Hill. Shot clock to 10 right now. Now Hill will use his one-on-one skills. Gets it back from Collins. Has to penetrate. Hangs and draws the foul.
Good clear out for Grant Hill. The leader, the guy with the ball, knows what to do. If it's open, he's going. If not, he would have kicked it to the open man. Very unselfish. This is the confidence Coach K has in him to run the team this year. You lose a Bobby Hurley, just give the ball to Grant Hill. He's going to make things happen.
And by the way, we'd like to pass along our best wishes to Bobby. Latest report that we received was that he may not have to have the knee operated on. That's certainly good news. And we wish our best to the former Duke point guard.
Nobody wants. There's number 11, February 28th, a year ago.
You know, that jersey's sweating just hanging there. That's how hard Bobby worked. Nobody can hit him.
0 for 5, the last 5 foul shots.
Over the baseline. And now Gary Williams gets that much-needed television timeout. 11:51 to go. His team still within 10. But it's steaming here in Durham.
DC, GW had taken the lead on Temple. Then the Owls stepped up the defense. Aaron McKee with the steal. Eddie Jones, EJ with 19. The Owls shooting 67% in the second half. They have a 4-point lead. Bob?
All right, Chris, so the seesaw back to the rated team. Temple, and here we are in the ACC. Bob Carpenter, Digger Phelps, 11:51 to go, and the Blue Devils not shooting much better than Maryland, but the Terrapins are really struggling, and Duke's up by 10.
2 for 14 on the road.
Johnny Rhodes.
10.
Rhodes had 14 in the first half, scoreless 0 for 2 since coming out of the locker room. And they only have 6 points from Keith Booth today, who's been in foul trouble. He's back in there playing up top against Antonio Lang. Clark kicks it underneath to Meek. Tried to force it a bit, but they did get the Maryland foul.
Not afraid to go inside, Meek, and look to get Joe Smith in foul trouble. Just get beating on him all day.
Grant Hill, left corner, short with it. Rebound, Lang, and he's fouled. Well, here we are on Saturday in the ACC, and Bud Light Big Monday heading your way, where the BC Eagles will host Georgetown. 7:30 Eastern Monday night. Senior Bill Curley, a force for BC. And then the red-hot Missouri Tigers. Weren't they impressive on ESPN last week? They'll take on, guess who? Steve Woodbury and the KU Jayhawks. That's always one of the great Big 8 matchups. And then the midnight game is St. Joe's of PA out west against UC Santa Barbara. Rap Curry leads the A-10 in assists.
They better go out there today because there's about 30 feet of snow coming this weekend. Good time to go to Santa Barbara.
Meek with his second on that play. Previous foul was against Maryland's Matt Kovarik. 11.5 minutes to go, and Duke leads by 11. Rhodes for Booth. They're trying to get him involved. Kovarik gets it to Booth. Quick turn on Lang. Patiently, and Lang stuffs in.
Got a ball fake before the shot.
Marty Clark. How was that? Threw about 3 sets of legs right to Eric Meek, and then the rejection.
Rejection machine, Joe Smith.
Joe Smith came into the game with 54 blocks, averaging 4 a game.
Now Duke will look to score off the inbounds play. If not, they're going to take a lot of time off the clock setting their offense.
27 on the shot clock as the doubles inbounded. Last time Grant Hill gave that hand signal, they spread the floor and let him go one-on-one. Little trap. Lang for Clark. And he's got the 2.
They went to the trap, but they read the pass. Lang finds Clark open for 3.
He was just inside the arc, so the official said it's a deuce. He has 6, and Duke's up by 13. Bristol into the game for the first time for Maryland. Nearly a turnover. Wayne Bristol academically ineligible the first semester. They feel his shooting could help in the second semester. Grant Hill, right side, Lang!
May have to take one, Gary.
He's going to. 10:08 to go. As usual in Durham. Defense takes over and puts points on the board.
Great defensive rebound going down the floor. Look down long. It's spurt time for Duke. Blown it to 15. Great pass by Hill. Aggressive.
Purdue coming off the loss at Penn State, playing Minnesota today. Gene Katie's been on the warpath. Up, stomping. He watches Bashan Leonard find Chad Colander. Glenn Robinson held scoreless so far. The Boilers down by 1. Bob and Digger.
All right, Chris, and Minnesota earlier lost at Penn State as well. That's turning into a little bit of a pit in that Big Ten.
Looks familiar. It's the Duke of the Big Ten, right?
Yeah, it's the Little Flores syndrome. By the way, Digger and I would also like to pass our best wishes along to a very good friend of ours, one of the finest handheld photographers in the Midwest, Rick Scott, St. Francis Hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma, recovering from a serious car accident. We'd like to wish him our best and hope to see him back shooting handheld on the sidelines sometime very soon.
Duke plays that zone with the lead to take away the inside game and force Maryland to shoot it outside because they're tired.
Rhodes. Taken away. Grant Hill, he just always seems to be in the right place.
But watch Duke now. This is where they're at their best. They'll play smart, run set plays, eat the clock, and really work in Maryland on defense.
9.5 minutes to go. Antonio Lang into Park. Smith all over him. Cherokee's been a little quiet offensively on the shot, a foul.
Surprising now they got Meeks and Park in the game, which gives them the big team. Is this a preview for the ESPN 2 Thursday night when you've got Carolina going against Duke?
Oh, Maryland just can't shoot at all here in the second half. Joe Smith, 13 under his average at the moment. Duke shooting okay. Cherokee Park still living off of most of his numbers from the first half. And Grant Hill, as you would expect, becomes more of a presence as the game goes on. He's a guy that doesn't have to always score his 17 a game, but to be in control.
This Duke team, Parks, you know, you talk about Leitner, you talk about Ferry, you talk about, you know, Amaker, you talk about Hurley. Give Coach K the credit for developing this team. They're number 2 in the country, and they've got a chance to pull it off again this year. Final 4.
Joe Smith trying to kick it down. Hip got the loose ball and missed it. And Meek says, everybody out of here. It's mine. At 6'10", 245, a junior out of Escondido. Not too far from where Cherokee Park sails in Huntington Beach. Just down the coast a bit. 61-44 Duke, 8:50 to go.
They're set. Grant Hill with the ball.
They go double low with Hill out on top. Looking for Parks over Smith. And it goes in.
When you're hot, anything goes. And he's smiling. He says, I'll take it. It's 2.
Booth faked him out and goes it alone, but he can't hit it. Joe Smith is right there. And he got hacked from behind. Looks like me. Well, a lot of guys from the top of the ACC are playing each other. Duke and Maryland. North Carolina plays Wake tomorrow. Virginia plays Maryland on Wednesday. And Thursday night on ESPN2, number 2 Duke, number 4 North Carolina, Eric Montross and company. They've got such great depth. That's 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. And if you don't have it on your local cable system, give them a call and tell them you'd like to see the Blue Devils and the Tar Heels. Joe Smith with his 9th point. And they're chanting overrated here in the student section.
Coach K's upset with the students. He wants them to knock it off about being overrated, because guess what? You got to go back to Maryland, and you still have the ACC tournament in March.
And when Coach K talks, they listen. Either that or no pizza when they camp out. Duke leads by 18 with just over 8 minutes to go.
Good execution now by Duke. Just working the clock and looking for good points or offensive rebound.
Grant Hill kicks it into Parks. He caught it between 2 men.
And he does it again.
He's wondering, how do I have 20? A 3 for Booth. And finally, his first field goal since the early minutes of the game. 9 for Keith.
Clock's working against him. Duke's patience on offense as Grant Hill works against Maryland right now. But no, Maryland's a young team. You know, by March, these guys aren't going to be freshmen, sophomores. They're going to be sophomores and juniors.
7 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Duke taking it easy now, working that clock. It's down to 10 to shoot. Antonio Lang flashing in strong. Meat keeps it alive against Smith. Little short with it. And finally Booth, after Joe Smith had a couple of touches. Right side, Rhodes, they need this one. When they're open, you've got to knock them down against this team. Lang for Collins. Lang again for Parks. Fumbled it, got it back, and he traveled. Southern Miss and Tech battling in the Metro today. Southwest Conference with A&M on top. Tulsa pulling way away from Drake now.
Jeff Cable, number 5, replaces Antonio.
Jeff Cable will come back. And how about the hand for Antonio Lang?
Very unselfish basketball team, Duke, and that's a credit to Coach K. Parks having the 20, one reason. It's his turn today.
Booth back to Rhodes. And look for Lucas, who was flashing into the paint. Rhodes, tough shot. Good defense by Collins. He got Grant Hill in the air and hits another tough one. 16 for Johnny. First points of the second half, Coach.
One more spurt now for Maryland. They've got to try to trap, try to get the quick defense, look for steal, get on the glass, make a run to cut it under 10. Clock's working against them.
Just over 6 minutes remaining. Duke trying to take over first place in the ACC. Winner of this game will be 6-1. Entry pass, Hill from Clark. And the Terrapins tie him up. Marty forced it a little bit. A lot of traffic in there.
Possession to Maryland.
And no matter what happens in this game, Virginia at 5-2 will be in second place. A tie for second with the loser of this one.
2 big wins, though, for Maryland on the road. At Georgia Tech and at Wake Forest.
Simpkins won't go for him, but there's Joe Smith. Parks blocked him, but fouled him on the arm.
And he went through Parks, and that's the way to play when you're on offense with the ball. Don't leave space so he can block it. Go right through him and draw the foul or the three-point play.
7 on the team.
That's the 7th Duke team foul, so Maryland will get some free throw opportunities in the final 5 minutes, 33 seconds.
For the Terrapins.
Opposing teams aren't shooting very well against Duke, as usual. They out-rebound by a 3 margin per game. Lots of blocks, lots of steals.
And they play the passing lanes very well, and that's how they get the steals. And they force you to throw the longer pass, which can create a steal.
Only Wake with a win here, and Notre Dame with a narrow loss here the other night, have shot 50% against Duke this year.
And Mountie Williams, 34 points here. He's first-round draft pick from Notre Dame.
Joe Smith, 11 points. 13-point game with 5.5 to go. Don't forget, coming up on ESPN, VCU and Louisville. Cardinals are looking for the upset on the road, at least the return of the upset that they suffered when at Freedom Hall the Rams took them earlier.
Little 1-3-1 zone by Maryland right now, looking to get the steal.
And again, trying to force it into a double-teamed Cherokee Parks. Rhodes for Booth. Here's a big 3. No arc on that shot at all. Lucas, strong rebound. Parks puts it into press row, but it's goaltending.
Down to 11. Don't ever count Gary Williams out of a game. Watch the missed shot. Goes up. Comes in strong. Weak side help. Looking for the... Coming down. Goaltending. 1-3-1 trap back into 1-3-1 zone for Maryland.
Capel and Grant Hill. The ball handlers. Diagonal pass just over Booth's hands. Capel strong with it. Rebound Lucas.
As good as a steal. Maryland's on a 6-0 run right now. Changing the defense.
Rhodes for Simpkins. Looking for penetration. And Booth says, let's refire it with 20 on the shot clock. Collins watching Rhodes. The 3 just won't go down. Smith and Parks
Duke
strong.
Possession.
Yep, Duke has the arrow with 4:25 to go.
Antonio Lang returns to the lineup for the Blue Devils, replacing Chris Collins.
Joe's a fighter. Knows he's got a good chance to get offense. Goes up with Parks. They both have it together. Good call by the official. Jump ball. Because of the 1-3-1 zone, Duke isn't as aggressive with the penetration, and it's favoring Maryland's defense.
Grant Hill double team. Kicks it off for Clark. Inside Lang. Yes! How'd he do it?
Just get it inside. Pretty good read, though, by Duke. They spread the floor against the 1-3-1. They ISO Lang inside. Pass to the corner. Clark sees it open. Great pass quickly inside. Go up and under with the bump. And 3. If he makes the foul.
X-ray hip number 4.
X-ray hip coming back in for Maryland.
21,
And Mario Lucas, who just committed his 3rd foul, will get a breather.
Shooting for Duke, number 21, Antonio Lang.
Antonio Lang, 14 points, 9 boards, and 5 blocks today. And Duke settles for a 13-point lead with 4 minutes to go. Simpkins kicks it for Hip. Blocking foul. Antonio Lang, it'll be his 3rd. Well, Purdue back up by 4 at Minnesota. Long way to go there. Temple by 5. It's getting late there in the Atlantic 10.
One thing about Gary Williams, you just can't knock out his team. And he's a fighter, and they just keep coming at you, coming at you.
Well, he was that way as a 3-year starter at point guard under Bud Milliken.
He's done a great job taking this program. Freshman and sophomores, 5 players out there just playing hard, playing aggressive, playing their game defensively. And that's why they're going to be an NCAA tournament team this year.
After a 12-16 a year ago, they've already equaled their wins from last year. X-ray Hip has 5, but that's way too few for him, averaging 16. And it's Duke by 12. Less than 4 to go. In the Metro, the 12th-ranked Louisville Cardinals go to Richmond to visit the VCU Rams. Coming up next, Kendrick Warren, VCU's main man, 19 points, and he's also leading the Metro in rebounds and blocks. Warren and company upended Clifford Rozier and Louisville earlier at Freedom Hall. From the ACC to the Metro, next on ESPN. Oh, there's a familiar face, Mike Kaminsky.
Don't bring his name up. 78, St. Louis. Lambeer Flowers. Yeah, Final Four. It's changed a little bit. Nice suit.
Cherokee Parks, Capel, and Clark. Everybody gets a touch when Duke works the court, spreading things out late in the game. There's Grant Hill.
1-3-1 trap by Maryland. Looking for a steal or a turnover.
Marty Clark faked the three, takes the short jumper, and it's followed in by Antonio Lang, and that's 16 for him.
That's a weakness of that zone when you come from the weak side.
Duke by 14. Simpkins drives, and Parks clears off his 11th rebound of the day, excuse me. Well into double-double territory again. Clock down to 3:10. Doesn't look like Duke's going to fold in this one. There's a tip away by Booth. Simpkins runs with it. 2-on-4. He has to kick it back, and Marty Clark almost had the steal. Well, sometimes we don't reset things this early, but Maryland's been out of timeouts for a long, long time since the 10:08 mark. Each team is in the bonus situation in free throw shooting. Visitors have the possession arrow. Simpkins, strong drive with the left-hander.
A little too late with that penetration.
Yeah, that's only about half of what he's averaging in conference play. The scoring of Keith Booth is down today.
Plus you get tired trying to chase, and that really goes against Maryland.
X-ray hip, 11 under his average. Joe Smith under his. Capel, good look. Parks, and a foul.
Good patience by Duke. Spreading the floor, looking for the big guy, rolling down the middle. Excellent execution against the 1-3-1. Watch the floor. Maryland's getting tired, chasing. Good corner pass. Now roll down the middle. Cherokee Parks. And 3. Potential. He's playing some game.
And that was number 5 on Keith Booth.
Maryland's not a physical team, so for Joe Smith today to go up against this type of aggressive defense, especially here at Cameron, and knowing what Cherokee Parks is as a junior, he'll take the challenge back at College Park. And you see like now, right? 11s. But look at Joe. Almost a double-double. One more rebound.
Yeah.
For a freshman on the road playing at this place, Maryland's got nothing to be ashamed about in this game today. They'll play as well as they have to when they get them back to College Park. But don't forget the Carolina game was a 5-point game.
Not a bad, quote, off day.
No, off day.
Cherokee Parks 11 for 14 from the field today. That's his 23rd point. He has 11 rebounds, and Duke leads by 15 with 2:25 to go. X-ray hip, way off. Rebound, Grant Hill. Duke about to go 15-1, 6-1 for first place in the ACC.
Confused on defense. We playing man or we playing zone? Got it. They go to the quick fouls since you're in the bonus. 1-1. Not 2 shots.
Under a minute 50 remaining. Shot clock at 7. Parks from Hill, and another Maryland foul. It'll be on Johnny Rhodes, his 3rd.
Gary a little frustrated with this game, but knows he's got a solid team, and I just love his composure. I like how these kids play. I like his intensity. It shows a reflection of his personality to the team. And this is going to be, I think, Maryland's comeback because of Gary Williams' patience the last 2 years doing a solid job of recruiting where they are now a factor in the ACC.
Becomes the Cameron Library when their guys are shooting free throws. Quieting down in a hurry. That's 24 for Cherokee today.
Maryland's got to go to Virginia next, and that's not going to be an easy game. Jeff Jones has done an excellent job with that team without Corey Alexander.
Yeah, just ask Dean Smith.
Yeah.
Tough place to play, University Hall in Charlottesville. 1:35 to go in this one here in Durham. Don't forget Louisville and VCU coming up on ESPN. Ron Franklin, Terry Holland will call that one for you. Marty Clark. They're still getting back on defense.
Well, they read the passing lanes coming back, and that's where Marty Clark twice today has done the same type of... Wow. Cherokee Parks, as he arrived today.
He's arrived, and he has just left.
Yep. But Marty Clark in the transition steal, good defense.
Grant Hill, look at him dribble while he's falling down, and they call it a travel.
Coach K knows in the battle coming up with the Tar Heels. Do it Thursday. Do it Thursday, Cherokee. I need you. I need you.
Newton pulls down the rebound. That's Greg Newton, a 6'11 freshman out of Niagara Falls, Ontario, who's been called the best collegiate player to ever come out of Canada. At least prospect. Just over a minute to go. Rhodes up with a loose ball, and Duke is cruising. Rhodes kicks it for Mario Lucas, and he lays it in. Mario with a double-figure day. He has 10. And it'll be Duke 6-1 atop the ACC. Maryland will fall into a second-place tie with Virginia at 5-2. Clark driving.
Power move on the baseline. Marty Clark.
He's got 8. At the other end, Simpkins can't get it to go. 30 seconds remain. And the Blue Devils are still chasing it. Joey Beard will check in, so will Tony Moore, as Grant Hill will leave. Collins will check out. Chris had a solid day with the 11, stroking the 3. Shot by Joey Beard attempted. Simpkins at the other end finally knocks down a 3. He has 11.
Needed more out of him today.
They've been unable to hit threes all day. Well, Duke resting comfortably at number 2. Coach K doesn't care about the rankings. They're just taking care of business here in Durham. Down to the final 2 seconds as it goes out of bounds. Duke will go 15-1 overall.
The most quieted 15-1 team in the country, and he's sitting there but says, well, I don't know about them this year. Look out for this team come March.
And the Blue Devils will win the 72nd game here at home in the last 76. And it's been 11 years since they lost a non-conference game here. That's it. 75-62 Duke. They led by only 4 at the half, but they win it going away for Digger Phelps, Bob Carpenter, and Chris Fowler. Coach Gay's got them playing solid basketball atop the ACC.
That's right, Bob. Duke goes to 6-1 in conference, but remember they have to visit Chapel Hill. ESPN2's coverage Thursday night, Duke and North Carolina, 9 o'clock Eastern time. A reminder.